Professor said the apex predators are extinct. The human raised his hand. We're still here. The lecture hall was so large that the ceiling disappeared into soft blue light. Rows of seats curved upward like waves, filled with students from many worlds. Some had scales, some had fur, some had skin like stone or glass. They whispered to each other in many quiet voices, while floating screens showed symbols of extinct creatures. At the center stood Professor Halden. He was tall, thin, and calm, with silver eyes that had studied life across the galaxy for decades. His voice carried easily, smooth and sure. Apex predators, he said, are unstable by nature. They rise fast, dominate their worlds, and then collapse. Over time, the galaxy corrects itself. Balance always returns. Images shifted behind him. Massive beasts, sharp teeth, claws, then empty worlds, ruins, silence. Across known history, Halden continued, every species that reached the top through violence eventually destroyed itself, some through war, some through resource loss, some through fear turning inward. Today, we study them only as warnings. Many students nodded. This was accepted truth. It was tested truth. In the upper rows, a small group of humans sat quietly. They looked plain compared to others. No claws, no glowing skin, no impressive height, just soft bodies wrapped in simple academy clothing. One of them, a man named Aaron, leaned forward slightly. His hands rested together. His eyes stayed on the professor, not the images. Professor Halden raised one long finger. So let us be clear, he said. The age of apex predators is over. They are extinct. The room filled with approving murmurs. Then a sound broke the flow. A soft electronic tone. A request signal. Professor Halden paused. His eyes moved toward the back section. A human hand was raised. The hall grew quiet, not because a student interrupted, but because of who it was. Humans rarely spoke during these lectures. They listened. They observed. They asked safe questions. Professor Halden hesitated for a brief moment, then nodded. Yes, he said. Aaron stood. He did not smile. He did not show anger. His voice was steady, clear, and calm. Sir, he said, humans are still here. The words were simple. Too simple. For a second, no one reacted. Then confusion spread like ripples. Some students laughed quietly. Others tilted their heads. A few instructors exchanged looks. Professor Halden studied Aaron carefully. Explain, he said. Aaron lowered his hand but remained standing. You said apex predators are extinct? He said, humans are not extinct. The silence that followed felt heavier than before. Professor Halden folded his hands behind his back. Humans, he replied, are classified as cooperative survivors, omnivorous, adaptive, social. You are not listed as apex predators in any official record. Aaron nodded once. That is correct, he said. Then your statement is inaccurate, the professor replied. Aaron took a breath. No, sir, he said. The record is incomplete. A low hum passed through the hall. Data screens flickered as some students pulled up public archives. Professor Halden's voice remained calm, but his eyes sharpened. Are you claiming, he asked, that humanity was once an apex predator? Aaron shook his head. No, he said. I am saying we still are. The laughter stopped completely. Professor Halden did not respond right away. He walked slowly across the platform, stopping near the edge, closer to the human section. That is a serious claim, he said. A dangerous one. Then you must understand the burden of proof, Halden said. I do, Aaron said, and I understand why it scares people. That word, scares, caused discomfort. Apex predators were not just strong, they were feared. Professor Halden turned to the hall. Class, he said, this is an example of cultural misunderstanding. Humans have a violent past on their homeworld, yes, but many species do. They evolved beyond it. Aaron spoke again, not louder, but firm. We did not evolve beyond it, he said. We learned to control it. Professor Halden turned back sharply. Control implies it still exists, he said. Yes, Aaron answered. The professor studied him for a long moment. Then he gestured, and the screens behind him changed. A list appeared. According to the Galactic Archive, Halden said, humans have no recorded system-level predation wars in the last 800 cycles. No planetary exterminations. No domination empires. No enforced extinction events. Aaron nodded again. Correct, he said. Then where, Halden asked, is your apex behavior? Aaron looked around the hall at the many species. at the young students who believed predators were history. Hidden, he said. A murmur rose again, uneasy now. Professor Halden straightened. This lecture is not a debate forum, he said. If you have evidence, submit it through formal review. Aaron did not sit. With respect, sir, he said. Formal review is why this history is missing. That caused a stir among the faculty. Professor Halden's tone cooled. You are suggesting academic suppression. I am stating it, Aaron said, because we asked for it. Now even the whispers stopped. Professor Halden lowered his voice. Why would a species ask to erase its own dominance? He asked. Aaron answered without pause. Because apex predators attract hunters. The words hung in the air. Some students shifted in their seats. Others leaned forward. Professor Halden looked toward the human group. There were 6 of them, all quiet, all watching. You expect us to believe, Halden said, that the galaxy forgot the most dangerous species alive? No, Aaron replied. We expected you to feel safer believing we were not dangerous. A faculty member stood suddenly. This is inappropriate, she said. Fear-based myth has no place here. Aaron turned slightly toward her. Fear kept us alive, he said. Fear kept others alive, too. That is why we stopped hunting. Professor Halden raised a hand to calm the room. Enough, he said. Mr. Aaron, if humans are apex predators, name one confirmed example. Aaron finally hesitated, only for a moment. Your archives call it the Silent Ring Collapse, he said. The screens flickered. Students searched. Many found nothing. Professor Halden frowned. That event has no confirmed cause, he said. A system-wide failure. Infrastructure decay. Aaron met his eyes. We were there, he said. The professor's fingers twitched. That system had 5 advanced species, Halden said. All vanished. Yes, Aaron said quietly. A chill passed through the hall. Professor Halden turned to the data screens again. He typed commands. Deeper access. Restricted layers. A warning symbol flashed. The system denied him. That alone caused shock. These records are sealed, Halden said slowly. By council authority. By human request, Aaron said. The professor looked back at him, truly seeing him now. You are students, he said. Observers. Why reveal this now? Aaron finally sat down. Because you told them predators were gone, he said. And something is moving in the dark again. The words sent a ripple of fear through the hall. Professor Halden stared at the humans for a long time. Then he spoke to the room. Class dismissed, he said. The lights dimmed slightly as students began to leave, talking in low, uneasy voices. Faculty gathered near the platform, whispering urgently. Aaron stood with his group. None of them spoke as they walked toward the exit. Behind them, Professor Halden watched. For the first time in his long career, he was not sure if the galaxy had learned from history, or if history had simply been waiting. The news of Aaron's statement spread faster than anyone expected. By the time the lecture hall emptied, whispers were traveling through communication networks across the academy and beyond. Screens in faculty lounges showed lines of code and encrypted data streams being accessed, all focused on a single question. Were humans really apex predators? In the Academy's research wing, Lyra, a cultural analyst with amber-scaled skin, leaned over a glowing terminal. Her long tail curled around the chair leg as she scrolled through historical archives. Something didn't make sense. Humans were listed as cooperative, adaptable, and peaceful after the last great wars of their home system. Their fleets were small, their technology primitive by the standards of the galaxy's military powers, yet Aaron had spoken with certainty. Impossible, Lyra muttered to herself, her claw tapping the console. All references to apex predator behavior vanish after 2 centuries. Why erase it? Nearby Bren, a security officer with silver fur and eyes like molten gold, noticed her agitation. You're digging into human files, he said. His voice was low, but firm. Be careful. These records are restricted. Unauthorized access can lead to suspension, or worse. I know what I'm doing, Lyra replied. There's something hidden, and I intend to find it. Humans cannot be this quiet if they were truly harmless. Bren frowned. You think what? That they are still dangerous? More than dangerous, Lyra said softly. They might still be predators. Apex predators. The words hung in the air. Bren stared at her, unsure if she was joking. He wasn't. Across the hall, Aaron and his group walked in silence. They moved slowly, their eyes scanning the corridors. Unlike most humans, they were calm, as if they were not just observers, but sentinels, waiting. A young student named Fen approached them, curiosity clear in his wide eyes. Are you really apex predators? He asked, voice trembling. Professor Halden said. Aaron looked at him steadily. Professor Halden said what he believes. We live differently now, but what we are never fully disappeared. The student shivered, but he could not look away. Back in her office, Lyra found her first clue, a fragment of a report hidden behind standard cultural archives, marked with a warning symbol. It was partially encrypted, but enough to see a date, a location, and a name. The silent ring collapsed. She leaned closer. The record was blocked for a reason. A system-wide extinction event involving 5 advanced species wiped out almost overnight. According to official records, the cause was environmental failure, but the metadata suggested otherwise. Signs of strategic energy signatures, rapid movements of fleets, and targeted strikes designed to minimize collateral damage. Someone erased history, she whispered. And it wasn't accidental. Bren arrived again, looking over her shoulder. This is the same event Aaron mentioned. He tapped the screen. And you think humans caused it? Somehow. That's why the records were hidden. Meanwhile, the human group moved toward a side corridor leading to a restricted access area. Aaron glanced back at Fen, who had followed them despite warnings. The boy froze. This way, Aaron said quietly. You should not be here. The corridor was narrow, lit with soft white light. Panels along the walls displayed the history of the galaxy in condensed sequences, rising empires, fallen worlds, wars, famines, and peaceful periods. But Aaron's group did not look at them. Their focus was deeper, on doors labeled Restricted Access Tier 4. In her office, Lyra managed to bypass some of the encryption using an experimental code. She felt her heart race as the file opened. Images appeared, blurry at first. Then she saw what seemed impossible. Coordinated strikes, fleets moving in perfect synchronization, planetary shields collapsing in minutes, and no casualties among the attackers. One figure appeared in multiple frames, always at the center of the action, coordinating with humans across star systems. It was a human, but unlike any she had imagined. Calm, focused, unarmed, yet controlling the outcome of entire planetary conflicts. This cannot be, she whispered. Brent's tail flicked nervously. If this is real, he trailed off. Lyra turned back to the terminal. It is real, and Aaron knows about it. That is why he said the predators are still here. Far away, in the observation decks of the Academy, other species began discussing Aaron's claim. Some were dismissive. Humans are weak. They are small. They have no natural weapons, said one. But what if their strength is not in body, but in mind? Another replied. We do not understand their methods. Aaron's group paused at the reinforced door. A single card scanner blinked red. Aaron held up a small device. The scanner turned green. The door slid open, revealing a hallway lined with more secure entries. This is why we do not appear, he said quietly to his companions. Our actions are not for spectators. We do not seek recognition, but we are ready if needed. Back in the archive, Lyra found more fragments. She could see patterns of human intervention across centuries, always precise, always minimal. Worlds survived that should have fallen. Entire species avoided extinction because of unseen hands. Humans were not only predators, they were planners, strategists, observers, and the galaxy had no memory of it. Bren leaned close. You are saying humans hid everything? Exactly, Lyra said. They erased themselves from history. Not because they were defeated, but because no predator survives if everyone fears it. They chose restraint. Meanwhile, Aaron's group reached another sealed door. Beyond it, a holographic map glowed with star systems and highlighted fleets moving silently across sectors unknown to most galactic authorities. Aaron paused, examining a cluster of systems near the edge of explored space. They are coming, he said softly. Who? One of the human group asked. Predators, Aaron replied. Not like us, but dangerous. They will test the galaxy. And when they do, everyone will wish humans were extinct. Lyra's hands trembled as she decrypted the final fragment. It described an encounter between humans and an unknown fleet centuries ago. The humans had neutralized the threat without drawing attention, leaving no evidence. Every other species involved had forgotten it or had their records adjusted. Brent stepped back, voice low. We've underestimated them for too long. Across the academy, whispers became more urgent. Faculty began reviewing the events of the lecture, trying to understand the implications. Professor Halden's name appeared in every discussion. The calm certainty he had carried moments ago was replaced by unease. Aaron and his group exited the restricted hallway. They moved quickly but quietly, unseen by anyone outside the human sector. Fen followed reluctantly, unable to resist the pull of curiosity. "Why do you let them forget?" Fen asked softly. Aaron paused. His gaze was steady and distant. "'Cause being remembered can bring hunters, and hunters do not stop." Outside, the galaxy seemed peaceful. Ships glided along trade routes, planets spun in harmony, but in the shadows movements were happening. Unknown fleets were on the edges of sensor networks, approaching inhabited systems. No one noticed them yet, except humans who had seen them before. Aaron looked up at the stars. "They think the predators are gone. We will see how long they believe that." Lyra and Bren looked at each other in stunned silence. The fragments of history they had uncovered did not just challenge the archives, they challenged the foundation of galactic safety. Humanity, small and quiet among the stars, was not what it seemed, and soon the rest of the galaxy might find out. The hum of the Academy continued, but deep in hidden files, in the minds of those who watched and waited, a single truth was becoming clear. The apex predators were not extinct. They were merely hidden, patient, and ready, and someone, somewhere, would soon trigger the first test of their strength. The Academy had never been this quiet. Normally the halls were alive with voices from hundreds of species, each sharing ideas, theories, or idle gossip. Today, whispers barely escaped lips, and screens hummed faintly as students and faculty alike tried to process what Aaron had said. Humans, so plain and soft, had just challenged the very foundations of the galaxy's history. In a secure observation room, Oren, a historian with mottled gray skin and translucent eyes, studied images from the last human-led operations. They were simulations and reconstructions hidden deep in encrypted archives. Most species had never seen them. The images showed humans in complex scenarios, fleets maneuvering with precision, worlds being stabilized or destabilized without mass casualties, and decisions made in seconds that shifted entire conflicts. "They aren't natural predators," Oren whispered to himself, "but their methods, their strategy is flawless, calculated, unforgiving." He tapped a console. A holographic display opened, showing humans interacting with other species during conflicts. What stood out most was their restraint. When humans attacked, it was always surgical. Systems were crippled only as needed. Civilizations survived that would have otherwise fallen. They were predators without claws, without fangs, yet the results were undeniable. Meanwhile, Aaron and his group walked along a hidden corridor beneath the Academy, moving toward a restricted strategy archive. Their faces were calm, but their eyes were sharp. Every step, every breath, seemed measured. "You are still certain we cannot reveal ourselves fully," said Mara, one of the humans, soft but firm. Aaron nodded. "We do not need recognition to exist. The galaxy forgets us by choice, not because we are weak, and when threats appear, we act before they can threaten us or others. Silent guardians," Mara said. "It suits you." Aaron allowed a brief smile but said nothing. In the historian's room, Oren continued to dig. Each fragment revealed more. Humans had once faced coordinated attacks from multiple species attempting to dominate regions of space. In every encounter, humans were outnumbered, weaker, physically and technologically behind. Yet, they survived. More than survived. They turned the tide. Entire enemy fleets vanished without warning. Entire planetary assaults stopped in minutes. The galaxy had no record of casualties inflicted by humans, only the results. Safety restored. "They learned how to win without fighting the way everyone expects," Oren said. His voice carried a mix of fear and awe. Back in the hidden corridor, Aaron paused before a reinforced door. A panel glowed red. He pulled a small device from his coat and pressed it against the scanner. A green light confirmed access. The door slid open, revealing a hallway filled with holographic star charts. Fleets, strategic positions, and hidden bases were marked. "We cannot let anyone see this," Aaron said. "Knowledge of this level destroys trust. Species fear humans when they know we exist fully." A young recruit Terran glanced at the holographic map. "Are these all active positions?" Aaron nodded. "Not all. Some are ready, hidden. Some are only prepared if we must respond. The galaxy believes we are weak, soft. They will learn differently if we intervene." Far above, Lyra had decrypted another file. Described the silent ring collapse in detail. 5 advanced species had vanished, and humans were present in every operation. The file showed human decision-making, always minimal, always precise. Entire fleets moved in patterns that no other species could replicate. The methods were so refined that observers could only describe the actions as near perfect. Bren leaned close. "So all this restraint, it was intentional?" Yes, Lyra said. Humans never stopped being predators. They just evolved their hunting methods. Intelligence, planning, patience. That is how they survived when stronger species fell. Across the galaxy, news of unusual fleet movements began to circulate. Sensors picked up subtle disturbances in areas believed empty. No one noticed patterns yet, but humans did. They were always watching, always preparing. Aaron moved along the hidden corridor, reaching a door marked with the oldest security seal in the archive. Beyond it were simulations and records so secret, not even the Council knew their full extent. Aaron glanced at Mara. We train them here. We prepare them for what may come. Mara nodded. And no one else can see? Exactly, Aaron said. If the galaxy understood fully, they would panic. Fear is a predator's ally, but it also destroys trust. We choose when to act and when to remain hidden. Meanwhile, Oren noticed something in the simulations that made his skin crawl. In one sequence, a human fleet faced an overwhelming enemy attack. The humans outnumbered, under-equipped, yet their actions neutralized every threat without mass destruction. It was not luck, it was understanding. Psychology, tactics, timing. Humans anticipated every move. They are perfect, Oren whispered. They predict outcomes, control variables, manipulate fear without cruelty. How is this possible? Back in the archive corridor, Aaron stopped again. He looked at a series of holographic records showing unknown fleets moving silently toward the edges of galactic space. They are returning, he said softly. One of the humans, Jaren, frowned. Predators? Aaron's expression hardened. Yes, not like us. They are hunters. And when they move, nothing can stand in their path. Mara's eyes widened. Do we prepare? Aaron nodded. Always. But first, we must observe. Their arrival will test the galaxy, and when it does, everyone will see why humans still exist. Oren, still at his console, felt the weight of the revelation. The galaxy had misjudged humans for centuries. They were not weak, not passive. They were apex predators, masters of strategy, restraint, and precision. And if the unknown fleets arrived, humans would be the only ones capable of countering them. The academy hummed with normal activity outside, unaware of the hidden truths within its walls. Aaron and his group moved quietly through the corridors, observing, planning, and waiting. In the shadows of space, the first signs of unusual movements began. Unidentified fleets, previously invisible to standard sensors, shifted toward inhabited systems. No alarms had sounded. Only humans, watching from hidden vantage points, knew what was coming. Aaron stood before a holographic map of the galaxy, tracing paths with his finger. They think they are alone, he said. They will learn differently. The hallways of the academy remained peaceful. Students returned to their studies. Lectures continued. But behind the calm, the galaxy was beginning to stir. Humans, quiet and plain, were not just observers anymore. They were ready. Lyra and Bran exchanged a glance, understanding the implications. The archives had not lied. Humans had never stopped being apex predators. They had only chosen when, how, and why to reveal themselves. Aaron and his team paused in a hidden observation room. Stars stretched endlessly beyond the glass walls. We wait, Aaron said. We watch. And when the predators test the galaxy, we will be ready. We always are. The galaxy continued, unaware, peaceful, calm, unprepared. And in the quiet corners of history, in files no one could access, in fleets hidden from sensors, humans prepared. Their methods were invisible, precise, and deadly, not because they sought war, but because they knew the true strength of a predator lies in patience, planning, and timing. No one in the galaxy realized it yet. But the apex predators were still here, and soon the first challenge would arrive. The galaxy seemed calm, but beneath that calmness, tension was growing. Humans had been watching for centuries, quiet, patient, and careful. Aaron and his group moved silently through the hidden corridors of their bases, monitoring distant systems. Sensors flickered with activity that no one else could detect. Something was stirring. Aaron paused before a holographic display, showing clusters of fleets moving along the outer edges of known space. They are returning, he said. The hunters. Not like us, but they will test the galaxy. And we must be ready. Mara, standing beside him, narrowed her eyes. Do you think they know we are here? They may suspect, Aaron said. But suspicion is not certainty. They act only when they are confident. That is why humans survive before. We strike when needed, and hide when observed. Patience is our weapon. Far across the galaxy, in the outer colonies, ships glided along trade routes, unaware of the incoming threat. Planetary sensors detected nothing unusual. Communications carried the usual messages. Life seemed normal. Yet some signals flickered and data streams changed, hinting at something approaching. Back in the academy, Lyra and Bren continued to study the decrypted files. Every file they opened revealed more about human strategy. Not one detail was random. Every movement, every fleet deployment, every engagement was calculated. Humans did not just survive. They controlled outcomes. They were the silent hand guiding events, often unseen, often unrecognized. They are not weak, Bren whispered, eyes wide. They are something else entirely. Apex predators by design, not by force. Lyra nodded. And they have always chosen when to reveal themselves. Every fleet movement, every strategic intervention was deliberate. They acted only when necessary. That is why history forgot them. In a hidden chamber beneath a quiet star system, Aaron's group prepared for action. Ships hummed softly, lights glowing along their surfaces. Each vessel was equipped not for attack, but for precision intervention. The humans moved as if guided by instinct sharpened over centuries. Terran, a young human recruit, adjusted controls on his console. "How many fleets are approaching?" he asked. Aaron glanced at the holographic map. "Too many to ignore. But not too many to stop. We have prepared for centuries. Patience has given us time. And now, time has run out for observation alone. Mara checked systems across the fleet. They are testing outer colonies first. Small, isolated systems. No alarms yet, but they are probing defenses." Aaron's face tightened. "Yes. They want to measure response. They do not yet know we are ready." In the historian's office at the academy, Oren continued to analyze simulations. He saw patterns in human behavior that made him uneasy. Humans neutralize threats not by overwhelming force, but by exploiting weaknesses, understanding psychology and anticipating enemy movements before they happened. No other species in the galaxy could match this combination of strategy and precision. "They are not invincible," Oren murmured, "but they are perfect in their control of outcomes." Lyra leaned over his shoulder, and history erased it. They didn't want the galaxy to know. Fear is a predator's ally, and humans mastered it without cruelty. "Back at the hidden fleet," Aaron addressed his group. "We will not strike first. We watch, we guide, we protect. The galaxy must learn the lesson of restraint and control. But if any system is truly threatened, we act immediately." Terran frowned. "What if they attack too fast?" Aaron's eyes narrowed. "Then we act faster. Humans have always survived by understanding the pace of danger. The hunters believe time favors them. We will show them it favors us instead." Across the galaxy, faint alarms began in outer colonies. Sensors picked up fleets with unfamiliar signatures. Communications were scrambled. Local defenses tried to respond, but the incoming forces were faster and more organized than expected. Panic spread quietly among colonists. Aaron's fleet moved silently, faster than any sensors could detect. They did not announce themselves. They did not engage yet. Observation and preparation were key. Every movement was measured, calculated, and precise. Mara scanned incoming data streams. "They are testing every system along the border. No direct attacks yet, but probing defenses and supply lines. They are cautious." Aaron nodded. "Good. That will give us the information we need. The galaxy must see our presence only when action is unavoidable. Patience is our ally." In a control room deep within another human base, lights flickered as incoming signals were analyzed. Unknown fleets were moving in patterns that suggested scouting and evaluation, not immediate attack. Humans predicted these movements long before they arrived. Every variable, every possibility had been considered centuries ago and recorded in hidden archives. Lyra and Bren reviewed the decrypted records again. "This is not just survival," Bren said. "They have mastered the art of invisible dominance. No one else can match it." Lyra's voice was soft but firm, and that is why history forgot them. Apex predators are not defined by strength alone, but by control and foresight. Humans understood this. That is why they survived when others fell. Aaron's fleet reached the outer colonies. The humans moved quietly, deploying surveillance probes and monitoring local defenses. No one noticed their presence. No alarms triggered. They observed the incoming fleets and analyzed patterns, noting weaknesses, timing, and coordination. "This is the test," Aaron said. "Not the attack itself, but our readiness. We will act only when necessary, and when we do, it will be precise. The galaxy will not see humans until they must. Mara glanced at the map. They will arrive soon. Systems will panic. Colonies may collapse if we wait too long. Aaron's expression remained calm. Then we do not wait any longer. We watch and guide from shadows. Our actions will protect, not destroy. And when the hunters realize humans are not extinct, the galaxy will understand why we exist. Across the stars, unknown fleets continued their approach. Sensors of ordinary species detected anomalies, but no one could interpret them fully. Every move was calculated by humans far beyond the limits of other species' understanding. Oren and Lyra watched simulations, understanding for the first time that humans had never stopped being apex predators. Their tools were not claws or teeth, but patience, observation, and the ability to act with precision. Aaron's fleet moved silently toward a sector about to face its first test. Sensors showed scattered colonies under subtle threat. Humans deployed small interventions, advising leaders, guiding fleets, neutralizing hazards without revealing themselves. "This is how we survive," Aaron said to Mara. "Not through war, not through fear, but through unseen control. The galaxy believes we are weak. That is our advantage." In the historian's office, Oren whispered, "If the hunters continue, humans will act, and no one else will know what is happening until it is too late." Lyra nodded. "We are watching history unfold. Humans are not extinct. They are silent, precise, and ready. The apex predators have returned in form, if not in visibility." Aaron observed the approaching fleets. Every detail mattered. Every movement was recorded, every possibility considered. Humans had waited centuries for this moment. The galaxy was about to learn what true apex predators were capable of, not through brute force, but through control, foresight, and patience. And when action came, it would be swift, precise, and unstoppable. The galaxy would never forget the humans again. The calm of space continued to hide the tension. But deep in the shadows, humans watched, waited, and prepared. The hunters were coming. And when they arrived, the true strength of the apex predators would be revealed. The first attacks came quietly, almost unnoticed. Outer colonies along the fringes of explored space reported anomalies. Supply ships disappearing, communications delayed, and sensor readings that made no sense. Panic began to ripple quietly among the scattered populations, but no central system raised alarms. Humans had already been watching. Aaron stood on the bridge of a hidden command ship, his hands resting lightly on the console. His eyes scanned multiple holographic feeds, showing the movements of approaching fleets. The unknown ships were organized, disciplined, and aggressive, but they were unaware of what they were about to face. "They think they are unstoppable," Aaron said quietly. Mara, standing beside him, frowned. "They don't know we are here yet." "Not for long," Aaron replied. "They will learn soon enough." In a nearby colony, a small fleet attempted to respond to the first wave of attacks. Their weapons fired blindly, and defenses activated, but the incoming ships avoided confrontation, scanning, probing, testing. Within hours, the outer systems were destabilized. Panic grew, and the councils of the affected planets began to request aid from central authorities. Communications were too slow, too scattered, and the attackers moved faster than anyone could respond. Back on the hidden human fleet, every movement was calculated. Sensors monitored the attackers, mapping their formations, speeds, and decision-making patterns. Each human ship adjusted position quietly, staying hidden from ordinary detection. Small interventions guided local fleets, preventing collapse without revealing human presence. Every action minimized collateral damage and maximized effect. Taryn, a young recruit, watched the tactical displays nervously. "They are stronger than we expected," he said. Aaron shook his head. They are dangerous, yes. But dangerous is not enough. Observation and understanding are stronger than brute force. We move carefully, and we strike precisely." In another sector, Bren and Lyra continued to observe decrypted historical files. They now understood the humans' long strategy. Humans had survived past threats not by overwhelming strength, but by predicting actions, guiding outcomes, and striking only when absolutely necessary. This was their advantage. Other species relied on numbers, technology, and aggression. Humans relied on anticipation, control, and patience. "They have always been ready," Lyra said, her voice tense. "This is not luck. This is centuries of preparation." "They act like predators in the shadows," Bren said. "No one knows until it's too late." Aaron's fleet moved closer to the outer systems under attack. The humans did not reveal themselves yet. They guided local fleets subtly, misdirecting enemy sensors, reinforcing defenses, and preparing strategic positions. Every system was stabilized before total collapse, but no one saw the human influence. The attackers assumed they were failing due to luck or poor coordination. Mara pointed at a display. They are probing the colonies systematically. They are trying to find weak points. Soon they will realize no one is stopping them, and they will act more aggressively. Aaron's expression tightened. Then we prepare to show them. We will not wait until they overreach. Timing is everything. In one isolated system, an attack fleet approached a major orbital station. It fired a single strike, but before impact, invisible interference disrupted their targeting systems. The station stabilized itself automatically, and defensive drones countered a portion of the attack. Observers assumed it was an advanced defense system, but it was humans guiding outcomes from hidden positions. Terran's hands trembled slightly as he monitored the results. They don't know what's happening, he said. Not yet, Aaron replied. And when they do, they will remember it for a long time. The unknown fleets, believing the systems were still vulnerable, became bolder. They split into multiple groups, attempting to overwhelm defenses. Humans in hidden positions, adjusted subtly, rerouting energy flows, guiding local ships and neutralizing hazards without revealing themselves. Every attack was calculated, every move anticipated. In the observation room back at the academy, Oren and Lyra watched simulations in real time. The patterns were staggering. Humans did not fight like other species. They acted with precision, control, and minimal force, yet the results were decisive. Entire enemy movements were neutralized without mass destruction. They are not just surviving, Oren whispered. They are controlling outcomes. They are winning without being seen. They are apex predators, Lyra said. The galaxy underestimated them for centuries. This is what Aaron warned us about. In the hidden fleet, Aaron spoke calmly to his crew. We will now engage directly. Not to destroy, but to demonstrate. Precision only. Every strike counts. Every system must remain stable. Mara nodded, eyes steady. Understood. We act swiftly and quietly. The first human ships moved into visible range, but only briefly. Advanced cloaking allowed them to appear and disappear almost instantaneously, striking at enemy command points and disabling ships with surgical accuracy. The attackers were confused. They could not understand how entire fleets were neutralized without a visible hand. Terran guided a strike on a cluster of ships attempting to attack a colony. The energy pulse hit only the enemy systems controlling weapons and engines. Within minutes, the attackers were immobilized, forced to retreat. Local fleets, now stabilized, had no idea who had intervened. Aaron's voice echoed across the fleet. Observe, act, and withdraw. The galaxy must see consequences without chaos. Every action measured, every system preserved. In another sector, an entire attacking group was disrupted before reaching inhabited planets. Humans adjusted sensor arrays, redirected trajectories, and guided local defenses without anyone realizing it. Panic subsided in the colonies, leaving behind only confusion. The attackers assumed failure was due to unexpected resistance, not humans. Back at the academy, Oren whispered, They are controlling everything. Invisible, unstoppable. The predators are here, and the galaxy does not even know it. Lyra nodded. The humans have never stopped being apex predators. Their weapons are not claws or fangs, but observation, control, and timing. The hunters believe they are winning, but they are walking into a trap they cannot see. Aaron surveyed the fleet one last time before moving back into hiding. We have acted, he said. The first test is complete. The attackers know we exist. The galaxy knows we are watching. And when they try again, they will remember. Mara looked at him. Will they return? Yes, Aaron said calmly. They will return. And when they do, we will be ready. Humans have waited centuries for this. We have learned patience, strategy, and restraint. The galaxy will never forget us again. Terran exhaled, relief mixed with tension. They don't know who we are yet. Aaron smiled faintly. Not yet. And we will decide when they do. Apex predators are not defined by force alone. They are defined by choice, preparation, and timing. And we have all three. Across the galaxy, fleets retreated quietly, confused and hesitant. Colonies began to stabilize. The outer systems were safe, for now. Humans had acted silently, decisively, and perfectly. The galaxy believed the danger was temporary. The attackers assumed they had been lucky, that the defenses had somehow held. But hidden in the shadows, humans prepared for the next wave. Aaron watched the stars, calm as ever. They will return, he said, and we will be ready. Always ready. Because we are the apex predators. And we have never stopped existing. The column returned to space. but it was only surface calm. Beneath it, humans observed, controlled, and waited. The hunters would not forget what happened here. The galaxy would never forget humans again. And in the hidden corners of space, where no sensors could detect, humans prepared for the inevitable return, knowing that when the next test came, the full measure of their patience, skill, and power would be revealed. The galaxy seemed calm again. Systems repaired themselves. Communications returned to normal. Colonists whispered about the strange events in the outer colonies, but no one fully understood what had happened. The attacking fleets had vanished, confused, retreating faster than anyone could track. Only humans knew the truth. Aaron stood on the bridge of the central command ship, looking out at the stars. The fleets had withdrawn beyond sensor range, but the humans remained vigilant. Every star, every system, every route was being watched. Humans had survived centuries of threats because they understood timing, patience, and control. Now, those skills were needed more than ever. Mara joined him. "They have not given up," she said quietly. "No," Aaron said, "and they will not, but they do not yet know what they face." In the academy, Oren and Lyra studied the decrypted files and simulations. They now understood fully that humans were not just survivors. Humans were apex predators by design. The galaxy had forgotten because humans chose it. They had intervened in wars, stopped fleets, and preserved civilizations, all while remaining unseen. No species could match their strategy, their patience, or their foresight. "They are the Guardians," Lyra whispered. "Not by kindness, but by design, by control." Aaron's fleet moved quietly to hidden positions near the edge of settled space. They did not announce their presence. They did not need to. Observation was as important as action. Sensors scanned for threats, monitored fleet movements, and analyzed enemy patterns. Every human ship was ready, fully prepared, yet invisible to the galaxy. Terran adjusted a control panel. "They might return in larger numbers," he said. "We need to be ready." Aaron nodded. "We are always ready. Patience is our ally. The galaxy does not yet know we exist fully, and when it learns, it will remember." Mara scanned the holographic map. "Do we reveal ourselves now?" "Not yet," Aaron replied. "Apex predators choose when to act. We act only when necessary. Observation comes first, understanding comes second. Action comes last, precise and unstoppable." Across the galaxy, fleets recovered from the first encounter. Communications attempted to reconnect with isolated colonies. Ships tried to regroup. They assumed humans were still weak, that intervention had been chance or luck. They did not understand what had struck them. They did not know humans were watching. Aaron activated a small fleet of ships and moved closer to the outer colonies. The humans intervened silently, guiding local fleets, adjusting defensive systems, and neutralizing threats without revealing themselves. Every move preserved life, minimized destruction, and maintained balance. "They think they control the systems," Mara said, "but they are being guided." Aaron's expression was calm. "Yes. That is our method. Strength without force. Control without exposure. Precision without chaos." "Back at the academy," Oren whispered. "The galaxy will never understand humans fully. They are something else. Apex predators, hidden, silent, and perfect in their timing." Lyra nodded. "And they choose when to be seen. That is why they survived. That is why they still exist." Aaron and his group continued their patrol, moving from system to system, monitoring, guiding, and observing. The attackers were regrouping, planning their next move. Humans were ready. They had prepared for centuries. Every fleet, every strategy, every contingency had been considered long ago and practiced in secrecy. A warning signal blinked on the command console. An unknown fleet had appeared near a border system. The humans observed without moving immediately. The fleet was testing, probing defenses, searching for weaknesses. "They are coming," Mara said. "Will we act now?" Aaron's eyes narrowed. "We act when necessary. We wait until the moment guarantees effectiveness. The galaxy will learn the truth of humans when action is unavoidable." The unknown fleet advanced, unaware that every movement had been predicted, every pattern observed, and every weakness noted. Humans did not attack yet. They prepared quietly, adjusting positions, reinforcing local defenses, and waiting. Patience was the predator's greatest weapon. In the outer colonies, panic began to rise again. Sensors reported unusual fleet movements. Planetary defenses scrambled. Council sent messages across the galaxy requesting help. The unknown fleet believed it would find easy targets. It did not know that humans had already assessed and prepared every system. Aaron's fleet moved into position, invisible to sensors, undetectable to enemy scans. Humans adjusted trajectories, disrupted communications subtly, and guided defensive systems. Every action was precise. No system collapsed. No lives were lost. And the attackers began to realize they were being countered by an unseen force. "They are learning," Terran said quietly. "Yes," Aaron said, "and the lesson will be complete soon." The unknown fleet split into groups attempting to overwhelm defenses. Humans responded with exact interventions, disabling engines, rerouting energy flows, and guiding local fleets to counterattack. No one saw them. No alarms recognized their actions. In the academy, Orin and Lyra watched the simulations unfold in real time. The humans were controlling the battlefield from the shadows. Every threat neutralized without mass destruction. Every colony preserved without revealing their presence. Humans were apex predators in every sense, silent, patient, precise, and unstoppable. They act without force, Orin whispered. They win without being seen. The galaxy cannot comprehend this. Lyra nodded. And that is why humans were underestimated for centuries. They have always existed, always prepared, and always chosen the moment to act. Aaron's fleet engaged only at critical points, striking with surgical precision. The unknown fleets were disoriented. Their formations broke, command centers disabled, ships immobilized, entire enemy movements neutralized without visible conflict. Mara observed the result. They don't know what hit them. They cannot understand it. Aaron's voice was calm, and they never will until we allow it. Apex predators are defined not by force, but by timing, preparation, and choice, and we have all three. The unknown fleet began to retreat, confused, cautious, and uncertain. Colonies stabilized. The outer systems returned to peace. Humans had acted silently, decisively, and flawlessly. Back at the academy, Orin whispered, "The predators have returned." The galaxy does not yet understand them. Humans are apex predators by design. Lyra nodded, her voice barely audible, and they choose when to reveal themselves. That is why they survived. That is why they still exist. Aaron looked out at the stars. The hunters would return. Humans would be ready. Observation, patience, control, precision, these were their weapons. And the galaxy would never underestimate them again. Mara spoke softly. The galaxy is safe, for now. Aaron smiled faintly. Safe because humans are watching, and always will be. Apex predators never vanish. We choose when to act. And when we do, the galaxy will remember. In the hidden corners of space, humans returned to watchful silence. Fleets repositioned, colonies observed, and sensors scanned for the slightest disturbance. The galaxy slept, unaware of who had protected it. And in the shadows, Aaron and his group prepared for the inevitable return. The hunters would come again, and when they did, the true strength of humans, the apex predators, would be revealed to all. The galaxy would never forget humans again. They were still here. They had always been here, and the apex predators had returned.